Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you guys have watched the last two videos on the channel, we finally got the VASTI to finally hit the track. Now, if you guys have been following the channel for quite some time now, you guys know how big and exciting it is that we actually finally hit the track. We have been building this car for over a year and a half now to hit the track, but every time it's track day, something happens. I always break something and the car is never able to make it. But this last weekend, we finally got the car to our local track and we finally got to put the first couple passes on this car. I ended up the weekend with my personal best of a 10.4 at 149 miles an hour, which, if I say so myself, I think is a very, very good starting point, especially for the fact that this car makes 1,000 wheel on the map that we are running at the track, which is a crazy amount of power for a newbie who has never drag raced, never even done a hit in this car. So I'm pretty happy that we were able to get a 10.4 at 149. But if you guys also followed along those videos, you guys know that we were running into quite a few issues on the track, and those issues being electrical. Now, if you guys are familiar with the STI platform and the VASTI platform, you guys know that the ABS module sits right in this corner here, but with this whole new turbo kit, we got it relocated to sit in the fender so it clears up space in the engine bay. After the relocation, I noticed right away I had an ABS code on. Now, I thought those codes were my fault because when I went to start this car, I realized that the main ground for the ABS module was not grounded. So then I went ahead and grounded it to the strut tower brace, and I just wiped all the codes and hoping that it wasn't grounded, and that's why it tripped all the codes. Anyway, long story short, we hit the track. After about 2 passes, all the lights came back on. And it is safe to say that that grounding issue was not the problem. But since we were trying to race, I had Devin's Autel and I just kept clearing the codes and continued to do passes because I was not going to miss out on race day. Then I finally figured out a way to get the code from popping up during a hit, and I wanted to see if it worked. So I gave Josh the keys to this car to do a pass in it. He ran a whopping 9.6, I think it was at 154 miles an hour. And from there, the car is feeling great. He's feeling great, I'm feeling great. We went to turn up the car more. The car was at 40 pounds and it trapped right at 1,000 wheel. We turned it up quite a bit. Josh was really trying to get into the 8 seconds this weekend. And unfortunately, he noticed very low oil pressure, which obviously is not a good sign by any means. We immediately turned off the car back in the pits. And I noticed that when I pulled the dipstick, there is like very, very little oil in this car, which would explain the loss of oil pressure. Now, normally when you're racing, you'll do a hit and then go back into the pits, let the car cool down, go over data, just let the car rest. And then normally you would like to check your oil to make sure that you still have oil in the car. We were doing hot laps and we were just trying to get as many passes as possible. So we just kept going around and around and never checked the oil. So that is a failure on me for not checking my own oil. So I'm thinking the last hit, the oil got very warm. We never checked the oil anyway. And my thought is I have a catch can down here. When we go ahead and drain that catch can, it is going to be full with quarts of oil. Now, you guys know Subarus and oil, they need their oil to drive just like any car. There is a small, very, very, very tiny amount of hope that I'm gonna go ahead, drain the catch can, pull the filter and drain the oil, and that there will not be metal shavings in that oil. When I cut open the filter, I'll know right away if there is bearing material in it or not. And hopefully, just tiny 1% chance that we can just go ahead and throw new oil in this car and this motor will live to see another day. My goal is to try to race every single weekend that is humanly possible for me to attend and get the car there. Right now it is Wednesday. We have another event this Friday. So I do need to go ahead and drain this oil, cut the filter to see if this motor is savable or not. If not, I'm trying to race this Friday. I have a spare BBR motor sitting at his shop, but I need to go ahead and get the oil drained so I know if I need to go ahead and bring this car to my shop, get it torn down with the new heart so we're able to hit track day. Now let's go ahead. Here is my catch can, by the way. I've had a lot of questions asking what this metal box is under my headlight. This is my catch can. Let's go ahead and first start off by draining the catch can to see how much oil is in this thing. It's not really coming out that fast.
Well, it's 2050.
True. I started the timer a little late. We are 2 minutes in to this very steady stream of oil coming out of the catch can. So that is where all my oil went, in that catch can. It's gonna take a hot minute for that to drain. I will keep this timer going to see how long.
Never going to stop.
I had been laying on the ground for the past 20 minutes just staring at the catch can drain. So it didn't even finish draining yet, but we get the idea that the catch can was full of all the oil. So I went ahead and just capped it off. Right now we're gonna go ahead and drain the oil pan and pull off the filter, and it'll be interesting to see how much oil is in this oil pan. The lighting down here is quite horrible. I know you guys can't see, but from what I can tell so far, I don't see any like glitter. But as soon as it finishes draining and we pull the oil bucket out of here, we'll know right away if there is bearing material in here. Well, the tiniest bit of hope that I had that the oil would be perfect draining it is all lost. We ended up finding some gold. As you guys can see right there, we got some nice chunks of my bearing. And you know, just to verify that this is actual bearing material, I have my little magnet here, and as you guys can see there, we got a little flake onto the magnet. So that's a huge bummer. Not that it wasn't unexpected, and truthfully guys, if you guys have been following along, you guys know how much abuse this motor has seen, and to still live 10 passes this last weekend, almost 9 or 10 passes at 1,000+ wheel is pretty damn good for the amount of boost I had on this block, and just regular driving too. I had over 1,000 miles on it. I've had my camshafts flipped. I've flooded this motor. I have anything you could possibly think of, I have done to this motor. And yeah, it just goes to show how strong this motor really is. And then to still live 10 passes at the track. Also, this car has seen like 4 or 5 different dyno days on this motor, just trying to get this car dialed in from all my mess ups and stuff. So truthfully, I can't be that bummed. Obviously, it's still unfortunate because just like the short block alone is like $11,000. So that's a lot of money to have go on you. But we were able to get a glimpse of what this year is going to look like racing, and I could not be more excited. I promise you guys will see a lot more racing content, as now I know that I actually truly love drag racing. Before, I was kind of just building this car and just crossing my fingers and hoping I'd actually like drag racing. But now that I got to experience it this last weekend, I know I absolutely love it. I will continue building this car for drag racing and continuously chasing better and better numbers. One, just getting the car more and more dialed in, but also learning as a driver, as I am very, very new. I have like 6 passes under my belt here. So we have a long road ahead of us learning, but I'm all for it. I absolutely love it. I hope you guys are as excited too, to watch this car put down some very, very, very impressive times at the track, and also watch me as a driver grow. Guys, we were fast forwarding a few days here. I was really trying to get this car to be able to make race day, but it just was not gonna happen. I had 2 days. The motor had to get torn apart. I would have needed to send my head to get redecked, all of that stuff. I just did not want to put myself in a time frame that close, especially as you guys know if you guys have followed along. Me with a very tight deadline, that's when I normally mess things up. So I decided the car is going to stay together and I'll be missing this weekend racing. But next weekend, I can get this car taken apart, put the new motor in, and hopefully make next weekend's race. But even though I'm not gonna be racing my car today, I'm obviously still gonna be going to support Josh and the rest of the team that's going to be down there anyway. Now, a good buddy of ours, Justin, he is bringing his STI out. He has not gotten his slicks and wheels in yet on his car, so he asked if I would be kind enough to let him borrow mine. I, of course, said yes. The car is just sitting here anyway. So right now I'm just taking the slicks off the car. We'll load them in the truck and we'll be heading out to the racetrack.
You guys see this dope ass jet tag? Go over to RemmySTI.shop to go get you one.
Well guys, we made it to the track. Unfortunately, like I've mentioned, my car did not make it to this weekend, so I thought I would still come out here, support the friends. Justin is doing his second debut in his Hawkeye. It's spicy, so we're hoping to get a good pass out of that car today. But here, I'm just here to watch the team and support. And of course, Justin did not have a suit, so I lent him my race suit, so he is safe in his car today.
Part of Remy's still going down the track today.
Yes, exactly. So there might not be too much commentating on my end as I'm here to support, but I'll still make sure to record everyone's passes and get their reactions. I know both cars here, Josh's VA and Justin's car, are here hoping to make some very, very impressive times. You'll have to watch Josh's video to get the full background and details on his VA and this track event.
$20.
You're fucking smoked, pal. Oh my goodness. I couldn't hear the
And then we have Nick's hatch here. I think it makes, if I'm not mistaken, around 900 wheel. So this should hopefully put down some amazing times as well. And obviously we have Josh's VA, which Josh always goes balls to the walls with. So hopefully we can get a good pass out of this. Josh lost a bolt that holds a lot of his oil, so we're gonna go pull him back. He's at all the way at the other end of the track here. So.
If we got too fast, pull the shoe.
Another few hours of waiting for the prep track. The track prep, sorry, I'm exhausted. It's been hours of sitting here. Justin is now back up in his Hawkeye.
Washington.
We were all so exhausted after track day. Ended up ending at like midnight. I completely forgot to film you guys an outro. This video was kind of all over the place. Nothing really major happened, but I still wanted to post this to give you guys an update on what happened with this car, because I kind of left off the last track day video with, it was like 10 seconds of commentating that this motor could be taken out. So I wanted to make this video, show you guys the damage that occurred during my first track event. But then I also wanted to end off the video on kind of a high note and taking you guys with me to watch our friends race. But make sure you guys stay tuned for the next following videos. The next video, we will be tearing this car apart. We're not gonna tear apart the short block to see the damage yet, but we are gonna take apart the long block, get the head sent off to get rebuilt, and put this car back together with the new heart so we can make the next track event. Also, if you guys made it to the end of the video, if you guys did, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys are appreciating that I'm filming more in public. I actually was recording at track events in front of people. If you guys follow along, you guys know I'm very, very like camera shy still. I'm still learning on that and getting better. But if you guys noticed, I was actually recording in front of tons and tons of people at our local track. I feel like every day I pick up this camera and make you guys a video. We're getting better every single time.